Is this where? Oh, there we go. Okay. Wow. Okay. Thank you for that information. I didn't know my mic wasn't working. I thought for sure it was. Got set for default, which then wouldn't go to the mic. So, oh. Okay. Now that everybody can hear, now we're on our mission. We're only about 17,000 away from our opponent, so we have to keep pushing to get up there. Let's see here. Do you see a way to win the game? I think this is it. This involves a Morpheus type of mate setup. There we go. Okay, dokie. This is an interesting continuation as well. There we go, 100 points. We're doing good so far. Let's see how we can actually do even better. Let's see. Find a way to win material. Can't play there because then the rook comes, covers this. This would be a nice. See if we could only win that. Well, maybe we can actually play rook takes rook, rook takes rook. Maybe then knight. And there wouldn't be enough time to, I think, would there be enough time for that? I think this might be it here. And then this here. And then checking, yeah. There we go. Congrats, we're doing great, team. Excellent, let's see how we're doing. Perfect. Okay. Oops, I blundered that. See, okay, you can find a way to win material. See, if we check here, the rook comes up, then we have to come over here and we're threatening an unstoppable mate. And so you have to first throw in the check, and if the rook actually can't do it, so we're doing good. We're in stage 3 of this here. So let's see if we can't just pound through this and keep going. Okay. Let's see, we're in a critical position. Find a way to win his rook. So if we play queen check here, takes, queen up, if king there, then yeah, this is it right here. That's how you win. Surprisingly, that's a good move there. Yeah, there it is. That's it. Glad to see you guys. You're back on. It's good. See the old team again. Okay. Let's see now. So you had to find the move that builds on this position. So that builds on this position. We might want to play rook, b1. Then if taking, oops, then the rook would come down after the queen takes, of course. And what else do we have at that point? Maybe. Oh, queen takes c2. Interesting. Queen takes c2. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Silly me, I didn't see that. Here, he can't actually take because the queen takes on c3. That's correct. Great job. Great job there. So, I guess there wouldn't be anything that the queen could do after taking here. Maybe they can win a pawn with check here. And that's probably their best continuation after rook b1 is queen takes c2 check. Yeah. Exactly right. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out. I think this move is the. Oh, it's not the move. Okay. Oh, bummer. Is this it? Oh man. Wow. Okay, so queen queen f3. Interesting. This is there. Oh, I see now. Then when we play the rook, the queen still drops. So it doesn't matter even if you play there. They lose the queen. Okay, either one would have worked. Like if he had blocked here, and then we played this. I think it might even have been worse though, because when it takes, then this rook's pinned. So yeah, that wouldn't be good. So they actually played in a bad position, the best of the worst position. Which sometimes you're in a position that's kind of not so fun. Okay, try to win my knight. Do you see how? Okay. Let's see if we can. Trying to see if taking. Yeah. I was thinking about that. Yeah, that if you check first, yeah, it would have covered. You're exactly right on that. That's exactly the correct continuation that happens. And so you have to always be, like you're saying, 110% in the game here. We also, let's see, because if you play, sometimes it's just the most simplest moves. I think just taking's the. That's the only move that yeah, that's a pretty simple one. Simple. Yep. You guys got it. Okay. If you play the right move, if you play this right, you can win my queen. Doesn't just rotates queen, and then you play here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, we won more than a queen on that one. We won a rook. Yeah. This one's. These are always fun ones. These are kind of the tricky side ones that you use the piece as a takedown piece. Okay, here. Some of the funnest ones I find are actually Anastasia's mates. Those are like the fun ones. Okay, take a careful look at the board. Do you see a way to win my bishop? So we got to find a way. One of these bishops is on pre here. Yeah, or we have to make one that's on pre, I should say. Let's see here. If we play bishop takes queen, then bishop takes queen. So bishop takes d1, bishop takes d4. I think it might just be a complete bishop. I think we could actually, this is funny, just take the bishop on b2 here. And if the bishop takes back, then we actually win the rook. Yeah, the funny thing is that this one actually, that's the crazy move of all crazies. You would think that you'd want to like do some sort of bishop takes here. The funny thing is the whole idea is drawing the defender of the queen away. The queen, this rook right here is overworked. And so if you can draw it away to front to like b2, then you can actually take it. So it's basically a double type of tactic. It's removing the guard and an overworked piece. So it's like you get a 2-for-1 on that one for learning. You'll start to learn how these tactics, they all have names. And when you put them together, they make something called a combination. Of course, I know you guys are great and cool chess players, and you guys already probably know that. But this is for the up-and-coming, chess player that's trying to improve. What a combination is, it's a multitude of different tactics put into one idea or one move order sequence. Let's see. I'll be in trouble if you capture my rook. So let's see here. If we this would be the rook that he's talking about. Trying to see. Oh, could it actually be? Could it be doubling up here? I think it's doubling up because even if the rook comes here, they're one move too short. Because then we can actually do the double rook checkmate idea. Because this pawn and this pawn cover it, and this rook covers it. So this is the move here. And then we win the rook. So I think I'll show you guys. If this wasn't moved here, like if you just follow along, there would be a check here. Like if he comes here, check, king up, and then the second rook comes up and checkmate. You gotta love those type of positions. Yeah, the back rank you gotta love. Those are the back rank ones are the most fun combinations, I gotta say. They can actually, you can be in a completely lost position, but if your opponent misses the back rank, you can win many games. Yeah, that happened to me one time on over the board. I was getting taken apart, but my opponent actually forgot about their back rank, and I doubled up my rooks. And then I sent him down the board, and my opponent took one, and then I reloaded it, and it was checkmate. Yeah, it was pretty. At one point, you would probably think that's a pretty sad game going, but back rank sure tells the tale for sure. Okay, let's see here. So you check there, here. Is there a check here? And then the king only has one spot to go to, which would be there. Then we come in here with mate. Yep, this is it. First one starts here. Now we get to use the lonely pawn. The lonely pawn. He comes in handy, and then we bring the queen in. These two pieces work together as an incredible all-star team. Never forget that even an attacker could be a pawn. Never forget that. That could be what turned the tide. You got to see it right here. A great example of it. All right. Okay. Your pawn is heading for the back rank. What is the only path forward? Okay, so our pawn is heading to the back rank, so we got to figure how can we have it head to the back rank. Now you're getting into pawn taking. This is the interesting endgame. Is a game changer too. If your opponent doesn't know how to play an endgame, you can go into an endgame 1 or 2 pawns down and still either draw or win. See, the idea is we would love to get these passed pawns going, but if we pushed, this king would take. The funniest thing ever is actually if you could take this way. Because what would happen is if the king took the pawn, then you take and you queen. So if you play d takes c3 here, and if the pawn took back, this is the interesting continuation. You do not take this pawn. That is the wrong way to play. When you take here and this takes back, don't take the pawn. You want to push this pawn, and what happens is it makes a box. And this box is the position, the square that the king has to get into. So when you push, even though the king could take here, he's not inside this box. Always remember, you can calculate if the king gets in the box, like right here, there's 3 spots right here. And so if the king had a move, the king in theory comes up here, and then these pawns were not there. All these pawns were gone except for this one. This king would actually be able to stop it because you wouldn't have to calculate 1, 1, 1, and then the king comes there. You just draw a box. Most grandmasters like Jeremy Silman's endgame course, stellar, excellent. He also has the idea where you draw a triangle, which you can draw a triangle, or I like drawing a box. the triangles, if they can get in, if your king can get inside this triangle, then you actually you can't queen. But I just found that it's more fun just to do this, and it's a lot easier for your eyes to actually do. And so let's see if this is correct. And then watch, we push, and there's no way for the king to get in. If you had taken, of course, if you had taken, then the king could have taken here. Watch, okay, takes. Now the new box would be this, and it would be the king's turn. He could take the pawn. Then when you play, he's right there in time. But because you pushed, even if he took, you can actually move, and then this would be the square that he could get in, and you'd be able to queen just in time. It's incredible, the endgame, how fun and untapped endgame study is. It's just so much fun. I love the endgame. Sometimes I'm still a learner of the endgame, so I still make mistakes, and we all do. But it's just so fun to continue to keep seeing the setups that set up for certain endgames. A player who was actually I always call him the czar or the king of endgames was Magnus Carlsen. Also, Bobby Fischer, before he faced Spassky, there's a little story that Bobby Fischer basically got trounced by Spassky in the endgame and stuff like that. And so he took a little bit of time off, a couple years, to study his pawn endgames and skeleton of the chess game. And that's when he came back, and he basically beat all the Russian grandmasters to face Spassky in '72. What he used was his endgame study and some of the play that he outplayed Spassky. And you should see that Game 3 is a really beautiful one, but Game 6 is incredible how he plays. Game 3 was really interesting. That was played in the they call it the ping pong room, and it was Bobby Fischer didn't like the cameras and the sound, and so Boris Spassky agreed to play him in somewhat of a quiet room, where the cameras can only peer through a window. They couldn't actually be there, so it's kind of an interesting setup. Excuse me there. Okay, let's see here. Now that we did some history of chess, let's get into some chess that we get to make the history of our opponent. Okay, my bishop is vulnerable. Do you see a way to win it? See, this bishop right here is an interesting position for sure. It's guarding our most happiest spot we can ever have. Is we want to come here. So remember, sacrifices sometimes happen. So if you can spot one, you can do a brilliant move. There's a lot of different ones. And if we take this pawn, if we take this bishop here, you have to calculate and ask yourself, what is the taking? What can they actually take back with? And in theory, they can take back with this rook, which then we take. Queen checks. I'm not sure if we get enough for that. Oh, wow. Actually, now I see. We don't, after we take here, we don't actually take this. We take this pawn here. By taking here, if rook takes, then we play queen takes e5. That's the huge attacker right there. Because then when the queen intercepts, we take the rook. Yeah, this is the start of the move. This would actually have been losing because of queen intercepts. You don't have any checkmate idea here anymore because of this rook guarding it. But you do have something called a fork of the king and rook, and this is the tide turner right here, and you actually win a bishop. And by the way, it's like, oh, you only won a bishop, but let's count how many pawns. Black only has 3, and we have 6. So we're actually 3 pawns to the good, and central pass pawns. And then we have one that could potentially be an outside passer. White's completely and probably maybe 5 or 6 or 7 pawn advantage. Incredible. Okay, let's see how our opponent's doing here. Oh, excellent. We're doing great. We're almost there to our 20,000 that we can do. Let me see here. Okay, think about checkmate. So we gotta think about it. And then now we have to, let's see if we can actually do something with it. Okay, the idea, one idea would be check. So you first have to calculate checks, captures, like tactics, and then planned ideas. Like moving your piece to a better square. Let's see here. I know if we check there, the king comes here. Let's see, do we have anything? Maybe after, it might be this move here. I was thinking, checking here, king over. Maybe we just smack daddy that, and we're checking here, so the only move the bishop can do is check, and then we bring our other bishop up, and we can actually mate that way. Yeah, I like this check here first. Now we have to consider, is this knight move here, does it do anything after the bishop takes? We can reload with our other bishop. This move is called reloading. When you sacrifice a piece for another piece and add it onto another square, you could do something called reloading, which is putting a piece on the prior square that's there. Let's see, check. I'm just trying. Yep, that's mate. Because queen's here and there. Yep, that's it. This is it right here. Come on. I'm just clicking there. I don't want my mouse to have a problem. There we go. Great job, guys. Great job. And the best way of actually learning is teaching. So if you have like a friend, mother, father who's interested in chess, or a brother, or maybe somebody online that you play with and they ask a question in the chat, you can even teach them why if you beat them or something like that, or if you guys just playing tactics or something or playing a game out, you can talk to them about why each move's good, why each move's bad, and it'll make you a better player and your opponent a better player. Oh, this is an interesting one. You're close to checkmate. That's a good one here. This is covered. This is covered by the queen. The queen covers here. I don't see anything else. That's a mate. Nice. That was a quick mate too. Sometimes you get those blessings from the Lord that you get a quick mate like that. Trust me, take it, move on, get your extra points. But because we're teaching, we're going to get to our goal. But we get to have our Chess Cruncher family come along on this journey. And that's the fun of chess. How chess allows, it doesn't matter who you are. It's a game of the mind. And you're not facing your opponent, you're facing the board, whatever side you're facing. As my grandmaster teacher would always tell me, you're facing ideas. You're not facing the man or the woman. You're facing the board. Okay, calculate and win my knight. Is it just that simple? Is it just that simple of queen takes g4? Is there anything the queen could do? The rook can't do anything, because if the rook takes here, excuse me, we just take back. If the queen takes the pawn, that'd be silly if here. If the queen took the pawn, two pieces are guarding it. Not there. Right here. It takes here. No checks here for anything. I'm just trying to calculate, see if there's any ideas. I'm allowing you to see through what my mind is looking at. So there's nothing. Blast King is ultra safe here. I think we could just completely win this for knight. There's nothing going on there. That was fun. That was fun. You have checkmate. Can you find the checkmate idea? We're setting up for... Oh, this is so beautiful. We get to do something called a tombstone. It's not a tombstone. A tombstone mate would actually be a two knights here, and then you have a king here. You'd have it's because it makes a stone. They call it the tombstone mate. You don't get to do that every day. I think this is still a tombstone mate if they're like this or if they're like this. I'm not sure. I believe that's still a tombstone mate. But it's a little different though. So if we play here, there's no way of our opponent really getting out. Because even if he plays his rook, we got checkmate. So this takes away the square here, 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 here. There's not enough time for this bishop to, excuse me, not enough time for this bishop to actually get out, because there'd be one move too late. So this is the move here. Nice, we're at 200 points. Go team, go. Let's see here. Oops, that's a blunder by me. Can you find out how to win material? These ones are kind of very general, so it's kind of like they say, now you think for yourself. We gave you a lot of fun ones. Now you have to decide. How do you win material? They're testing you. So let's see here. I was thinking something to do with maybe knight G. No, that doesn't work because there's no check there. There's nothing there. Oh boy, bummer. Is it this here? I think it might be a queen check, surprisingly. Because then when the king moves, then you come in with check, the rook takes, and the queen takes. But let's see if queen check, does he have to could he just move there? Like, oh, then you have a nice checkmate here. Yeah, because the queen covers here. No, actually, I think you come out. They can come out there, but then, that is tricky. Let's see here, there. Maybe this is this is the idea of a double check right here. This is the double check that leads to mate. I think it leads to a smother mate if I'm not mistaken, does it? See here, here. No, that's just complete mate. Because there, the queen. Yeah. This starts off the whole. Here we go. Now we just win a. We just win a piece here. First of all, you gotta take there. Then after the rook or the bishop intercepts. If the rook intercepts, like here, we just take. The bishop takes, and I think we just play something. There's a mate here somewhere, but we'll move on to the next one. Okay, here. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, I think we have a Greek check, or a Greek gift, as I like to say. Here, up we go. Then the queen slides in, and you have a sweet Greek mate. And there's not enough time, I don't think, for this. This rook doesn't have enough time to move either. So then you could just mate right there with the knight and the queen. Let's give her a go. Okay. Do we want to check with the queen first or the knight? See, sometimes you got to be careful. If you actually check with the knight here, and surprisingly the king can actually come out to g3, and then your whole attack is gone. But then you have like something like queen g5, but I think then you might even I'm just trying to see if the it's not worth that when you could just basically play queen check here. King comes back. Actually, can't come there. It comes there. The knight comes in. There's no way to stop mate. The queen would have to give its life here for it. So let's just oh, okay, yeah. There we go, and now we take, and we win 222 points. Boom, boom, boom. Yep, you did great. You got it. You guys had the right combination. Good thing we read it and worked it out together. I probably would have gotten that one not right. Okay, there's a way to end this with checkmate. I'll give you guys a second. I'll be right back. Be right back. Take a look at it and see if you can win it and put it in the chat, and we'll see if it's correct. Okay, bye-bye. I'm back. Okay, let's see what you guys put in there. Ah, Rook G8. Okay. Rook G8, yep. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's actually a very good idea. Then he has to take, and then you play Queen F6. When the rook comes up, you mate. Great job. You guys did great on spotting that. Wonderful work. Wonderful. Excellent. Okay, dokie. Let's see what we got here. Can you find a way to win my knight? Okay, we have another knight winning one. I think this is just a plain simple takes, and a queen checks. I don't see anything. See nothing, no checks, nothing. Yep, this is it. There it is. Perfect. Let's see what we got here. Oops, I blundered. Can you find a way to checkmate me? The interesting thing is, I'm first thinking of queen check, up, check, over, queen takes, check, rook up, and then queen takes. Yep. It starts out with the queen takes first, then in comes the bishop, then takes, then the rook intercepts. Beautiful job, beautiful. 250 points. Congratulations. You guys are doing wonderful. We're really, really going to get some points added on here. We got to get around 30 or so thousand, because you have to make sure that nobody could actually challenge you. And even if they do, they get so tired from trying to get as many points that they wear out. So you want to actually have so much that it's overwhelming. And that's why we're doing tactics right now, so we can stay number one. Okay. Let's see. Okay, can you find a way to win my bishop? Let's see. First of all, you have to look at checks. So one check would be here. Does it accomplish anything? No, the queen intercepts. So nothing there. Now you have to look to see if there's any... Actually, wow. Surprisingly, rook takes. Bishop actually does work because of rook takes. And then queen g5, which actually forks the bishop and the rook, even if the queen intercepts. So the first move is actually a sacrifice. Oh wow, okay. Then what we do is we do a quick in-between move, and then we take. So what I was talking about here is after, if rook takes here, then we can actually play queen takes g5. When the queen intercepts, we can actually take. When the queen intercepts, we take. And we're up a whole knight. We're in somewhat of a cramped position, but because his pawn's gone, we now have a spot that we can flee up to. But they didn't do that. They set up for that move. Wait a second, I'll go back. Sorry about it being so fast. One there, takes, 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 and that's how we go ahead of up a bishop. Find a way to win a bishop. Oh, we get to win another bishop. Let's see how we do here. The interesting move sequence, I'm looking at rook b4. I know you're thinking, but what about, g6? We have g4, and we go, we got your bishop. And there's nothing that he can actually do about that. He could try to come king forward, and then what we do is we play rook takes. If we come here and he goes king, any one of these squares, we actually want to take with the rook. Don't take with the bishop, because then there's a chance that the king could fork. I think you'd still be okay, but this is actually the start of the winning move, and because of that, now you play g4 and you take it. There you go. Up the board we go. Nice. We're doing great. Good job, team. Keep pushing forward. Keep pushing forward. Okay, play this carefully, and your pawn is on its way to promotion. I have to be very careful here. I think if we push this pawn, that the queen, actually it'd be a check. So if we push, can we endure the checks? Here, up, check. Okay, then we push here. They throws it a check there. Then the queen intercepts. They tries to throw in a check here. Then we push the pawn. And if he tries to throw in a check here, I think he's going to start running out of checks maybe after this move. I don't know. I'm not sure if pushing's the right move. Maybe it is, but I'm just trying to see if there's, because I see if we could, after the pawn gets pushed there, we can actually play a check here. If there would be a way to do that, then the king comes here, and we queen would check. There's also that type of trick. So close, I don't want to blow it. You have to get the pawn close enough to promote. But can we endure all the checks? That's why I'm thinking pawn push. They can't play check here, so the only move that they can play check on is Boy, this is a tricky one. I think the only move is we just gotta push it. Intercepts to keep hold of this pawn. So he comes back for check. Try to see if any can't play there because taking. Actually, wait a second. That's his pawn, isn't it? That's his pawn. Could try checking there. Throws in a check here. Tries checking here. Throws in a check there. Actually, can't throw a check in there. Interesting. Interesting. Think that. Oh yeah, I can't. Sorry, I can't actually play here because of this would actually skewer the queen. Well, no. We came up here, there, it comes back, then it comes back. So I think the only move is this. Let's see if walking up the board does anything. Nope, because then you lose this pawn. If you play check here, play check there. I think if we play check here, it checks there. I'm thinking knight. Well, no, that'd be there. He'd throw out a check, wouldn't he? And then we'd lose our queen. I think this move's forced. I think. We can check. Let's see, f3 here. Then you have queen a3. King up there. Queen check. There, queen check. Well, that was a tough one. Congratulations. Yeah. Hey, how you guys doing? Glad to see another viewer. If you see what, yeah, queen, yep, f4, then g6, queen h. You gotta be careful. Well, we got it. We got it. Yay! Okay. Let's see if anything. Okay. Oops! I blundered. Can you find a way to checkmate me? Let's see. We have two ways of double checking. Now we got to find out which double check actually is the best. So we have to calculate. This check comes over. There's nothing that we can do. This checkmate. Or not checkmate, sorry, check. I'm thinking of checkmate. It comes here. Oh! There we go. This is it right here. Yay, good job, team. Just take a second. Sometimes you can solve it. Don't rush through the puzzles. Okay, here. Oh, this is an interesting. I like this one. Checking here draws the knight away. And then this little bishop here is the one that delivers mate. Nice. Whoa, 300. Wow, 15. It's a lot of points there. A lot of points for sure. My king is weak. It's time to attack. Okay. Now we have to figure out how we can defend off this. First of all, you have to look for blocking. Does this rook work? Nope, you lose. Does this knight work? No, you get mated. So the only move that we have is actually king f6 here. That's the first. Now you got to figure what is the next one that you... Oh, I think we could just grab that. There you go, 310. Let's see how we're doing so far. Good. Let's see here. We're really taking this right now. We're doing good. My knight is vulnerable. Do you see a way to win it? Let's see. Let's see. Do we see a way to win this? We're black here, so if we check there, it takes there. No, no, no. Ooh, interesting. I see this move here. And then the knight comes in here. Queen takes, king takes, and yep, this is it here. Sometimes it's a retreating move that you gotta find. Okay, the idea is to guide your pawn to the back rank. So, how do we guide our pawn, our lovely little pawn, to the back rank? Well, what I first see is this little check here. And then when the king tries to run, we just take we check, the king takes, and then the pawn queens. So now it's too far away, so let's just take this, and we queen. One square, see? This is the box. The king is outside the box, and therefore, even if it's the king's move, we will queen. Okay, dokie. Let's see here. If you play this right, you can win my knight. So let's see how we could play this right. Okay. Let's get a sip of water real quick. That gives me a chance to think. Okay. Trying to think. Okay. Too bad we didn't have like an open file here. That'd be nice, like the queen here. But we'd have to have double rook, so that wouldn't work. So let's see here. So the knight has to fall. Interesting. Actually, surprisingly, this rook move is a complete winner, because the rook takes e5 is a complete winner here, because of queen takes d3. So if this taken here, we actually win a whole queen. So after taking, the queen would probably retreat back, and then what we'd probably do is take again, and then rook takes, and we'd be up a whole exchange. Yep, this is the move here. Wow, okay. There you go, 340. It's pretty nice there. Just gotta take it nice and slow. We're doing it. We're going up the board we go. Your pawn is close to promotion. What's the next move? So we're close to promotion. What's our next move? I was thinking of something to do with queen d7 here. And if rook b... rook b1, We don't want to do a reverse or retreat, because then... Actually, I think we could do a retreat, couldn't we? And then there's nothing. Yeah, it'd be queen here first, rook checks, and then the bishop retreats. And our queen here attacks his queen. There's no way to stop the promotion. He could try playing king over. But if he did that, could we just take... But this is an interesting position for sure. You get into these strange positions where you have to decide, is it worth, after that move when the rook checks, to run? I don't think so. I think it makes us too vulnerable if we start running. But this bishop does hold down this pawn. Boy, this one's an interesting one, because you have to figure after rook checks bishop, the king moves. So is there... But wait a second. We can actually, at that point, play checking here, and we pick up the bishop, because the queen has to promote or move forward. Well, no, actually we don't, do we? Wait a second, we do, because then we can actually throw in a check here, and then when the king comes here, is that one? Boy. This gets into huge calculations. Surprisingly, could it actually be queen? Could it actually be queen f6 here? That'd be an insane move. It does stop the king from coming close to the queen because of that. And then when the rook slides down, we can still intercept. And if he doesn't move his queen, then we win the queen. So then if he moves the queen, like there, we play the move check. And wow, that actually leads... He has to intercept here. And we take, bishop takes, and then we actually queen, and I think it's still mate. I think it's queen f6 here. Wow, that's insane. Sorry, that's kind of what's going on in my mind when I'm thinking. Okay, we'll see if we'll just give it a second here. If he plays here, there might be a check there. Could that be an idea why that doesn't work? We hear a check. King g2. Gosh, king g2 can't be played. Right here, that loses. Wow, that is kind of... Or could it just be a crazy move all to itself? Queen d6 here. An actual sacrifice. That when we play here, check, he comes up. Then we can, no, we turn to knight and win that, but no. It's probably more simple than I'm probably making it, but... So here, queen takes there. King up. So that stops. No, I can't go king up here. There. Queens. And then that's check. I think this one actually might work. Queen there. Queen to d6. Because if queen takes d6, e7 check. If the king tries to come up, Then we queen, but we don't have any in between. Oh, that's so sad. If only we had the ability to have him right here with check. And we can't actually play that now that I think about it, because if we played that here, the rook check, if we try to intercept, then the queen just fall. Man, this is just a huge bonkers move there. Crazy, crazy. Here, then the queen checks. Oh, nice. Didn't see that. Yeah, queen d takes, then you push. Oh, nice. Yep, wow, that was an interesting move there. Discovery. Yeah, there's the sack. Great job. You guys did great on that one. Great, great, great. Let's keep pushing ahead and taking a look. Okay. I'll be in trouble if you capture my bishop. Let me see. So which bishop? So we have to figure out which bishop can actually be attacked here. Okay, dokie. Knight there. Does that do anything? Nope. Okay. And see if we played the bishop here, made the knight there. Bishop could come out here. Bishop takes, knight takes. Because by moving the knight away, we actually win. Because even if bishop takes here, we can actually play bishop takes, knight. When the rook moves, then the pawn takes. So this, I think this is actually the continuation. And even if the bishop went d7 here, we still could play bishop takes, knight takes, and the queen might move, and then we just retreat the knight back, and when the bishop takes, we take. So yeah, I believe it's this move here. Yeah. And let's just make sure we don't have anything wrong. No. Oh, no. Uh-oh. I thought, oh. Too fast. Oh, darn, so close. The move too quick there. Let's see here. We can get it back though, don't worry. Let's see here. Find a way to end the game with checkmate. So let's see what we got. Okay, so it takes here, comes up, there, oops, sorry, right here, there. Should we play, we could actually play queen check, king comes over. Yeah, let's take this first, we know for sure on that. here. Now, this is the one start. Here we go. There we go. Where you what? You have to regroup and you come back stronger. Okay. Yeah, you guys are doing great on that. Great job. Okay. One of your pawns could be set up for a promotion. 1 second. Do you see it? Let's see here. First of all, you got figure taking. Pawn takes, push. No, that doesn't work. Try some king. F. Then it comes there. Comes down. I think it's king f6. Pawn push. Bishop a3, queens, bishop takes, king takes, up, king comes over here, we take, he comes back, we come back here and we escort the pawn up the board. There we go. Okay, come on, come on. No. Good. So I was worried the internet was going to drop on me there. Ooh, smothered mate. That one was a straightforward, simple, easy to the there. Good job, team. You guys did great. Okay. Taking a careful look at the board, do you see a way to win my knight? So, he made a blunder with that knight. Let's see if we take here. The king moves up. Take the rook. But now we got to figure out how do we win his knight. Is it beneficial to play that move there? I don't see any way to win the knight, and we got to be careful. The blunder of this move was he freed this spot up, so. And then we take. Let's make sure. Yep. Comes here. Let's see here. Let me see. If he comes up. Then he takes. No, because then if we try then coming down, he just retreats out. So I think it's this. If he of course takes there, we just run away, and our rook's free, and no more problem. So king here, knight takes. Yeah, I know what you guys are following. Great job. And then we can place king here. This pawn stops him. That pawn stops him. This king stops these two squares. He's trapped. And even if the king somehow got over here, we have a majority on the queen side that we can actually use. And actually also get our king over and start gobbling these pawns up. Oh, wonderful. 120. We're back in the game. Okay. Make the move that works towards pawn promotion. Let's see, check. If the king tries to come over, push. If the king comes here, we actually play bishop check. And the king takes, we queen. Yeah, this moves it here. Now we come up here, and if he comes there, so this move, king comes over, bishop check, takes, there. And actually, if we push and the king comes over, bishop check, he might, no, he has to actually take our bishop. Here, check, king up, check here, then we win. Oh, he took. That's just this queen. 130, yeah. Keep going. Let's see. I'll be in trouble if you capture my rook. So look to see how we can capture white's rook. Let's see here. If only we somehow could get in here, that'd actually be a mate. So if we can get rid of this rook. Well, maybe we can actually, in theory, play this move. And then, oops, play it over here. And come in this way. I think, though, if we played that move, the king would come up. So now we got to look for a better sequential move, maybe. Ah, what am I doing? Silly me. You just play queen f7 here. And, well, no, then that loses to queen takes. Oh, wait a second. I forgot. There's two spots you can check. Queen e8 actually is the winner. Because then, well, no, I guess you don't have, that doesn't, no. Because then the king could actually move here. Up. Oh, and then you get that. Okay. Here, king moves, and then you play rook check. It checks the king, and there it is. This is it here. Wow, that was a tricky one. Good thing we didn't move too fast. Okay, calculate for checkmate. So now we get a fun one that we get to do. See if we can checkmate him. Okay, check. King there, check. King back. And rook check. King comes here, and then checkmate. Okay. You're in a critical position. Find a way to win material. Interesting. I think if we played rook takes knight, surprising, this is the yeah, that's it. Great job responding to that. Rook takes c1. Because then if queen takes c1, you actually throw in this interesting move that looks insane. Rook takes f8 check. And then when the rook takes f8, you grab the queen for free. Excellent job there. That's why you gotta always be on the lookout. When it looks like something's pinned, try to go for the win. Oh, nice. We're at 5. We're really, really doing good. Great job, team. We're really taking it. Okay, we have check in here. There's a way to end this game with checkmate. Yeah, bishop, f3. Then the king comes up here. Queen. King comes up. Then we play queen checkmate on d3. Okay, first of all, you're exactly right. f3 is the correct move. Great job, great job. You did great. You guys are doing great. You're putting in the stuff and you're finding it. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Then you queen, and now this is mate. Look, this is the funniest thing. He actually got destroyed by his own pieces. They got imprisoned by his pawn and his queen. The one that was supposedly trying to help ended up being the ones that were his undoing. Okie dokie, let's see here. Calculate the only way, calculate the only path forward. So what would be the only path forward here? Let's see, rook takes. Boy, we're getting so close. Let's see. I'm thinking rook a1 to g1, ag1. That might be the only path forward. Because if queen takes rook, oops, here queen takes rook, then rook takes queen. If rook takes rook, then rook takes queen. If rook g1, then queen moves somewhere, rook takes, loses. If rook ag1, the queen tries to come back to h4, the knight takes it. Even if this move here, the queen comes here trying to hold on, the queen takes it. I don't see anything that's wrong with that. If the rook tries to throw in a check after this move here, then the knight, actually the knight doesn't take it. I'd probably play rook takes that. No, yeah, rook takes, because the knight guards these two, the rook and the knight there, two rooks. Yeah, this is it here. Then we take here. Now we go up a complete entire piece. Great job. A whole rook. That's enough for, especially when you get, they call them pigs on the second or the seventh. You get these guys here, just gobble everything up. All right, we're doing better. We're back in it. We're back in there. Next time I'm not going to move so quick, but we did good there. Let's see here. Find a way to end the game with checkmate. So okay, they want us to end the game with checkmate. Ooh, we're in check here. Interesting. That's a really nice move. Surprisingly, the king, they're actually helping, by this check here is helping us to get closer to, I call it to make this force field like the Force in Star Wars. The king makes the Force. And then all you need is a queen or a rook to back rank mate him. Yeah, let's grab that. I'm trying to see, is there anything that the black could do after taking here? No, his pawn actually, this pawn on d3 is the one that's, if he's probably thinking, oh, for that pawn, if d3 pawn wasn't there, I guess the joke is I could have saved the game. Let's just grab it. Okay, gotta make sure there's no smother or mate, or stalemate. Nope, because we take, he has these two moving pawns. Let's just grab it and we win. 190, yay! Great job, team, you are doing it. Wonderful, wonderful work. Okay, dokie, let's see what we got here. There's a way to end this with checkmate. Let's see if we could do that. Surprising, we're down a rook and a knight. So if we don't come up with something, you know, really, really nice, we're toasted. Let's see here. Let's see, check in here. King was there. There's nothing. We play if we take rotates F2. The queen checks. King just comes up. I think that's actually the move, because there's, after taking, it doesn't matter which check the queen checks on. There's no more checks at that point, because this spot on F5 is covered by our rook, this one that's here now. And this check does nothing because it's blocked in by the little C6 pawn that's getting in the way. The knight doesn't have anything, like after check. If we come up, then the knight doesn't do anything on these squares. Yeah, I think it's just grabbing it. Oh, so, okay. If we come up here, the rook would check here, we take. The queen comes to A1 or C1. We come up, the queen comes over to H8, and we take it. Because you don't want to start coming out here because of this check. So up we go. There we go. 200 points. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Keep going, keep going. You're doing great. Hang in there. Let me see here. Do you see a way to win the game? Let's see here. There's this checking idea. The king comes up. Check. King comes up. We don't want to do any checks here because of the blocking idea. If we checked that, surprised we checked there, the queen could actually counter pin us. We don't want that. I'm trying to see if there's... Surprised if he comes here. I think we can actually take with the pawn. Yeah, that would lead to... So this move here, king up, would actually lead to a mate, because if he came here, we have checkmate. If he came here, we took this, he came up, we have the dovetails mate, or yeah, that's the cool. These all have certain names on them, so this is really cool idea. Yep, let's first do that move. That's the first move. Okay, so that's that setup here. He's going for that, and then now remember, this comes here. There's nothing that they can block with, and it sets up for mate in I think 2 different ways. If he comes back here, checkmate. If he comes over here, checkmate. This is a checkmate for these 2 squares. And if he comes up here, there's a checkmate on this square right here. Okay, win my bishop to win the puzzle. Let's see here. There's 2 bishops. Which one can it be? We must choose wisely. Might just, is it plainly just that? But then, let's see if we play up here. He has C5. But I think then we just retreat our queen either to E7 or C7, Queen C7. Those 2 spots would be fine enough, and we're still pinning the queen to the rook. Yeah, I think that this has to be the move, and there's no checks. There's nothing. Well, it could play here, but then if that were the case, then first of all we'd throw in rook takes queen. Rook takes rook, and then queen takes bishop. And we'd be completely winning there. Yeah, we're going to go with this move here. Interesting. So now we have to consider, after taking, knight takes here, if rook comes in, we just grab this there, and then the rook takes the rook, then the queen takes rook. Yeah, this actually is a complete winner. Oh, interesting. Remember, we can't go here. This actually loses to a counter pin, because then when we try, we can't move our knight or anything, and it would lose. So we have to stay in contact with this rook. So always remember that. This rook is vital to our plan after the rook comes here. Then our rook's protected, because then we can move the knight, and we're safe and sound. So, there we go. 220. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's not like the 300s, but we're getting there. Getting back there. Okay, looks like my queen is in trouble. Do you see how? So black's queen and all that mess that's sitting right there, black's queen has a problem. So we'll have to untie all of her defenders to see if we can get her. Let's see first here. First of all, we have bishop takes. Then we can't play there. Wait, I guess we could. No, yeah, we could play there. He could play there. Well, actually, this is I figured it out. It's like, wow, we figured it out. This here, king over, knight check. When the king takes, remember this this queen is right here. So we remove the knight with check. The king takes the bishop, and when it does, we grab the queen. Wow, that's a killer move. Watch. That was cool. I love those type of combinations where you sack a piece and it looks like it's completely a crazy game and it ends up where you're winning. And who'd have thunk just in 3 moves that queen would fall? It looked like the queen was tucked away, really, really powerfully positioned, all by her little guards and everything. And in 3 moves, she ends up being gone from the board. That is so nice. Okay, let's see here. Back into the position now. Find a way to win a bishop. Whoa, let's see. So we have this side little bishop over here. Little bishop alone. How can we win that bishop? This is one. I know you guys already spotted this. Yeah, you guys spotted this for sure. Great job. You guys already saw that knight takes e4 is the one. And then when bishop takes, you come in with the rook h or g5, forking the king and the bishop. So we have to first grab this here, and then we come in and check there, and bang. Boy, compared to the other ones that we had, that was yeah, nice job, nice work. That was an excellent job. Great job for putting all that in and participating. Keep up the good work. Okay, let's do it. Let's take a look. Okay, calculate correctly and you'll win my rook. So there has to be. Oh, interesting. I've seen this puzzle before where you check here, the king only comes up, then you actually come down. It kind of makes a, if you want to think about it, a right angle setup. Very. Okay, let's just do it. Yeah, get it out of the way, because we know that this is correct here. You got it. The ones that are the easy ones, just, as they say, just get done with them and move on to the next one. Don't burn your energy on the ones you already know. Okay. Can you find a way to win material? All right, this is interesting. White probably thought, "Wow, I got the queen. I'm gonna truly do this thing. I'm gonna really do it." You know, right here, and he's probably thinking, "Oh, all he's gonna do is throw that in." Maybe there's more to the position. So you always gotta ask yourself, is there something more? Surprisingly, I think if we throw in bishop takes, no, that the king, would the king take? If the king took, then we don't have anything. So that's not a good playable move. Maybe knight takes is actually best. I'm just trying to see if is there any way, even if the king comes up. I think this is actually checkmate here. If we play knight check here, king comes up, the knight covers these two. Okay, the knight that's here covers these two squares, and then what we'll do is we can throw in queen check because the king's right here, and so all the squares are covered, all of them. Yeah, so this leads to a checkmate. Oh, he had to give a queen up. Well, if he didn't give the queen up and he moved his king, I think you saw if he moved his king up here, this would end up being mate because all the squares are covered. And it's a check. 260 points. Whoa, congratulations. You guys are really doing it. Good job, team. Okay, checkmate is coming. Do you see the way to win? First of all, we have these doubled up rooks, which of course are powerhouse pieces. So when you have a doubled rook like that, it's just incredible. So, and then we also have a battery of the bishop and queen. This is kind of one of those interesting ones. I know you guys already spotted it. Rook check, rook takes rook check. You're thinking, wait a second, doesn't he just win with knight takes? No, remember the battery. You come in with queen to f1, and that's checkmate. This is it right here. And then this leads to mate. You're doing good, team. Keep going, keep going. We're on a roll. 19. Let's see. Calculate for checkmate. And so we're black here, so we have to calculate if there's a checkmate. Like if we, interesting thing is, it'd be tempting to check, but then that would allow our king to flee away. This pawn's blocking here. This rook is blocking these pawns. This pawn here is blocking this pawn. All we need to do is to block these two squares here, and then we have them in a box, and then we just play rook c3 and it's mate. And so there's one move that actually allows us to do that, surprisingly. If we could actually throw this in, if we could throw c6 in, that would be a game-changing move. And it wouldn't matter what he plays at that point. There's no way. I guess he could throw in maybe an in-between move of stopping it there. And then all we would do is take, and that'd just be one move. See if there's any checks. No, the bishop doesn't do anything. There's nothing here. No bishop check. Only check would be the rook. Then we win that. Yeah, we're gonna throw this in here first, and then we just checkmate. Doesn't matter what they play. It tells you the power of, even for doubled pawns. Never think of the isolated double pawns as a weakness. In this scenario, it actually turned the tide and was the nil, you know, in the old coffin for the king. Okay, now we're on to our next one. Let's see what we got here. We're in a critical position. Find a way to win a rook. Congratulations, you guys did great. You're putting in the stuff, you're solving it. That's the whole thing about learning. You're doing wonderful. Great job. Okay, this is an interesting setup for sure. If only we had something blocking there, there'd be this really nice little idea here, because then they'd have to keep throwing pieces in the way, and it'd be mate. Is there anything that we can... Okay. Let's see here. I'm still looking at the checking idea here. But there's this idea, King F6. Is there enough there for us? Try to think. Like Winnie the Pooh, like think. We have to think through this. Yeah, you're exactly right. This seems like the most accurate move, most forcing continuation, but then you have to consider, do you have enough with, is it Rook F1 that you have next? And then could the king actually flee back into G7, and then if you try checking again, actually there would be no checks, wouldn't there? Would there be? I guess maybe you could throw in this check here, up here, rook check, king there. Maybe you can actually throw in a queen E7 here. I know there might be rook F8 there. That rook F8, yeah. And then you can actually, yeah, there. That, yeah. I think this starts the combination. You have to have this move here though. And now you have to figure, if the king comes forward, just throw that in. Oh, that was a close one. Now this is the bone cruncher right here, queen E7. And now you have to play rook takes, and you're gonna win material by queen takes, or is it? Hold on. Actually, wait a second. Oh, that's so cool. Rook F8. That's a killer move, because then the rook has to take, and then you grab the queen. Wow. Oh, whoa. Really? That doesn't work? Oh, you win material. I thought for sure that would wouldn't that win the queen though? If you played rook check there, then rook takes. Oh, he's threatening checkmate. Oh, he's threatening checkmate on F1. Yeah. Darn. We'll try to cut that. Darn, I didn't see that one. Got a little too happy winning the queen. Okay, oops, that's a blunder by me. Can you find out how to win material? Let's see, I want to make sure I do this right. Oh, we're a check, so we have to figure out this. Let's see here. They just come up. Just protecting here. Ah. There we go. We win the queen. Okay, on to the next one. Let's see if we can't make short work out of this to get back up to our level. Okay, make the move that works towards pawn promotion. Okay. Take here. King there. There, takes. Takes, over. I think first we have to take that. Oh, we have a, as they like to say, trebuchet. And when we move here, whoever's turn it is to move loses. So now we got to come up here, and we come here. Surprisingly, just in the nick of time, he'll play this move here. We'll check, and then we come down and grab it. Wow. Okay. Oops, I blundered. Can you find a way to checkmate me? Let's see here. Checkmate. Here. The queen comes up there. No. He's one move from mating us, so we can't. This can't be a slow move. Maybe it has to do with check. It might be this move here, and then when the king comes, yeah, it's this move here. There we go. That one's good. Okay, calculate and win material. 1 second. Excuse me. 1 second. Get a drink of tea. Okay, we got calculate to win material here. We have a pin. We have a pin on this pawn. The bishop's pinned. So, ooh, I got it. This bishop move right here, because the queen can't take because of this. This is it right here. Kaboom, moving on to the next one. Onward and upward. Okay, donkey. Queen takes e8. Let's see. Can you find a way to win material from me? Okay, queen takes. Check. Bishop intercepts. Knight check. King up. Has to be a way to win. Oh, wait a sec. Oh, nice. Here, there, knight check. But oh, too bad. I'd love to have gotten a when the king flew up here. I'd love to have gotten a queen here. I think this is the first move, yeah. So we got that correct. Okay. So now check it here up. Maybe it's knight takes f. I think knight takes f5 check. And then when pawn takes f5, then you throw in queen e5, and then you win. No, that doesn't win that because of this bishop. Oh. Okay, this was a little tricky here. Okay. Trying to see because there's pinned here. Anything else that we could potentially? Well, that could actually lead to, and we could actually bring our other rook involved too. So let's see, knight e7, king up, takes, pawn takes. Maybe rook b7 here is the game ender. And then maybe king there. Maybe it might just be plain. Maybe just rook. Maybe we're overthinking this, and it's just rook b8 here, but you have to figure is there any checks that the king could throw in, queen could throw in. Let's see, check it here. Comes up here, check. Comes over, that's mate, so you get mated. So here, that's perpetual. Well, let me see here. I'm just trying to check to see if there's any Checking ideas that would cause problem here. There. No checks there. So maybe rook, maybe the rook. But then you might have rook there to guard. Yeah, I think it's just this move here. Oh, it's not. Don't tell me. Is it that? Overthought it than that one. Again. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Don't leave your game up to luck. There is a way. There is only one good way forward. So let's see what's the good way forward. Because they're attacking a rook. Maybe it has to do with... Is it queen check? Because that does attack this pawn. But is there anything else that could be played after that, though? Just trying to think. Interesting. I'm thinking queen. Nope, that's not it. What is it then? It's not that. What am I missing? Oh. Oops, not there. Oh, double attack there and there. Okay. Okay, this puzzle will take some planning, but there is only one solution. So we gotta find the correct solution here. I think we'll probably get to, 5 in a row, then they'll probably call it on this for dinner. I know we can get 5 at least before dinner. Let's see. It looks like you just come back and win this, but the pawn takes here. Oh, I get it. Oh, silly me. Queen here. And then now you can come back. Well, is that right? Let's see. I think we just... No. So taking... when it gets my own thing there. Suppose you gotta trust yourself. So check. There's a pin there, so maybe. No, then does the queen? Can the queen save? No, the queen can't come here. Can't come there. But there is the rook could come here, And we can actually win material. No? Oh boy, boy, boy. What's... No, is it... Don't tell me it's... Oh. Okay. Let's see here. Let's try to get to 5. Come on, we could do this. Let's see. Can't play there because of that. It looks like that. That looks like it's winning. It can't play. Can we play there? No, the knight takes. Oh, interesting. And maybe if we get this, it might be this move here. I'm thinking. Yeah, it's this one here. Good. We're getting it again. Okay. It'll take some calculation, but there's only one solution here. So let's see what that solution is, and we gotta trust ourselves. So if we think it's the right idea and we don't play passive and we do our best, that's what matters. So taking, pawn takes, rook takes, queen takes, bishop takes. Let's do it. Let's just trust ourselves. There we go. Okay, 3 more. And then we got this thing. Okay. We're looking at... If you play right, you can promote your pawn. I'm trying to see if that move there... Yeah, he will step in front. If we play there, he just takes. Maybe it's knight checks c8 here. I think that might be the move. If there, then you can actually check king, and then the king has to keep moving the queen. So knight here, if it comes back, then you throw in a check. If it comes forward, then you queen. It's this move here. There we go. See, sometimes you just gotta take a second, step back, and calculate to see if you can't find it. We did. So 2 more. Let's see here. Okay, let's read the hint. Can you find a way to win material? So we got to find a way to win material here. Let's see. The king's kind of in an awkward position. If we throw a check in, they take, bishop takes, rook takes. So we actually go down a piece here. If we throw in, let's see if we throw in rook takes first, then rook takes, knight takes, pawn takes. Oops, my mouse slipped there. Fell over for a second there. Takes, takes. Oh, this is a tricky one. Oh, b6. Yes. Knight. Knight G6, yeah. Refocus down, let's see. Trying to think. Okay. I don't know if that's the correct move. Check. It might be. Okay, knight G6. F takes G6. Bishop takes. Just not feeling it. I was looking at knight takes, then rook takes, pawn takes. Maybe this is actually the move, now that I think about it. Taking, rook takes. You're not in time enough to actually win that. Yeah, this is it. Wow, that was surprisingly that. Yeah, nice move there, guys. Okay, one more. Come on. We got this thing. Ooh, nice. Wait, I call this the chainsaw because it looks like it. You first take here. Ooh, it's a beautiful one to end on. Then you play rook here, and there. Okay. We'll call it on this right here. Great job. Oh, man, we got so many points. Excellent work. Thank you so much for everybody being on and helping out. I'm glad the team's back. So, like what we always say in our motto of when we say goodbye, we always do this. We hang up our coats. We hang up our hats. We sit down and do the thing that most people say can't be done. Team Chess Cruncher does. And as Wesley So says, serve the Lord Jesus. As I say, God bless. And I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Be blessed, my friends. Keep chess crunching and having fun. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.